This is Carrick Fort, one of 51 architectural achievements that brought succession during the Crusades. It is located in southern Syria and is currently listed in the World Heritage Site archives. The Crusades had and still has a persisting impact on the modern world. The constant arguing between Christian and Muslim leaders can be traced back to the events of the Crusades. These influences really personify the phrase, "the more things change, the more they stay the same." Other more political impacts can be observed when we look at the Middle East problem of faith intervening in politics. Today, the supposed Holy Land for both the Muslims and Christians, not excluding the Jewish population, still struggles to maintain a fair socio-economic system that recognises all people, regardless of their social status and religion. Although there were and still are quite a few negative impacts on certain ethics, today, the Crusades still have exerted many positive ones as well. When both sides reflect on the events of the armed pilgrimages, a sense of closure is formed, a call for unity between faith, a dialogue which could and probably would end this 1,000-year conflict.
The Cathedral of Anagni is a cathedral in the town of Anagni. Pope Gregory IX was born in this town. Pope Gregory IX is closely associated with the beginning of the Catholic Inquisition, which were notorious during the Middle Ages. In 1231, he established the Papal Inquisition to deal with the problem of heresy. He did not approve of the use of torture as a tool for investigation or for penance. Cathedrals have an impact on modern-day Christians. Cathedrals are a place for Christians of all subgroups to come together to pray and socialize. The Cathedral of Anagni was an important part of life for Christians during the Middle Ages and remains to hold such importance in the lives of modern-day Christians due to the representations that have been allocated to the cathedral. The cathedral, preserved through the rough Middle Ages and bravely entered the modern era, gleaming with the intensity of nuclear fusion reactions. The cathedral, standing tall despite hardships through time, allow for those who view it to see it as a symbol of resilience. Consequently, those who view the cathedral feel a sense of pride and hope swell up inside them. The cathedral will continue to hold importance in the life of Christians and all those who may arrive from distant worlds in the future. As a species, communication is key to hold peace and prosperity. We are weak if divided, but strong when united. If we are to survive as a species, it is important to maintain peace and prosperity to avoid conflicts. The cathedral is an example of a place where this communication for peace and prosperity can take place. The cathedral will ensure those who enter will enter as strangers and leave as realistic, logical ideologists, after being presented with the seeds of peace and prosperity. The cathedral promotes unity, which is key for humans as a species. The human race, as stated previously, requires this unity for peace and prosperity. With such notions in mind, it is clear how much this cathedral, and many others like it, impacts on modern-day Christians.
The influence of St. Peter's Basilica on contemporary Christians. After Jesus' death and resurrection, Peter and the others began to actively preach the Word of God and share Jesus' teachings. Peter was crucified for his attempts to spread the Word and was sentenced to crucifixion. Peter, however, did not feel worthy enough to be crucified as Jesus did, so instead insisted that he be crucified upside down. In the early 4th century, Emperor Constantine, the first Christian emperor of Rome, decided to build a basilica on Vatican Hill at the site of a small shrine that marked the likely location of the tomb of St. Peter. Ever since, the basilica holds great importance to Christians and receives visits from thousands of people each year, some as tourists, others as pilgrims. St. Peter's Basilica is a significant source of influence for contemporary Christians. Aside from the belief of having been constructed at the site of St. Peter's tomb,
the Milvian Bridge was a significant place for Christians because it was a battle between two Roman empires. The battle was between Constantine and Maxentius. Constantine was not Catholic at that time, but when he was preparing for battle, Constantine had a vision from God that he would win the battle with a symbol that he saw in his vision. So he places the symbol on his men's shield and armor. When the battle started, he had hope from God that he would win the battle. Maxentius had a plan to wash away Constantine's army when they crossed the bridge. Constantine's army was near. Maxentius thought his plan was going to work, but he saw his men retreating. He was going to blow up the bridge, but one of his men pushed him in the water and drowned. Constantine's victory gave him total control of Western Roman Empire, paving the way for Christianity to become the dominant religion for the Roman Empire and ultimately for Europe. In the year 313, Constantine made Christianity an officially recognized and tolerated religion in the Roman Empire.
The influence of monasticism on contemporary Christians. Monastic communities vary greatly in size. The smallest are called cells. Medieval monks chose to spend their lives working under the strict routine and discipline of life in the medieval monastery. The reasons why they became monks was to become closer to God and to feel Him through all they do by deciding to dedicate their lives to Him either in a group or on their own. In today's world, the monastic life is not lived by as many people that lived it in the past, and especially in the Middle Ages. The main orders that monks live under today are usually either eremitical or cenobitical. These orders also differ in details, just as the other orders did in medieval times. Monks in the medieval times and monks today all took the vow of poverty, the vow of chastity, and the vow of obedience. These three vows were the basis of the rule and the life of medieval monks. In today's world, these three vows are still followed by the majority of monks, which shows the impact that their rules and lives have had on modern monks today. Monks today still follow what it is meant to be focused on, as it was in the medieval times, which is to follow God in everything they do. Overall, monasticism has continued throughout the many years and will continue to be practiced by people that wish to dedicate their whole life to God just as others did in the past. This shows the influence that it has left on all Christians in our modern world today.